Hello, everybody. My name's Kevin Dolly. I just recently got top 16 at the South Carolina in-person regionals, and I wanted to do a little deck report. Since I got back and comfortable, I wanted to wait till everybody got to see all the decks that Eggman is going to have on his channel, and then if you hopefully had the time to watch Bepsi's stream, which was enjoyable. Uh, and now here I'm coming out with my barely squeaking in top 16 list. And I wanted to talk a little bit about all my matchups. So I'll go in order. There was only 7 rounds, so that felt nice instead of having to wait a whole extra hour or two before being done. So match one, I played one of my worst matchups, which in my opinion are Red Hybrid and Royal Knights. I played Royal Knights round one. Game one wasn't too much to say. He did an early Omni play, which I punished just by slowly recovering it out. That one didn't go to deck out because a lot of the security control versus Royal Knight matchup is they're going to have so much time to slot so many Royal Knights underneath their bodies that they just put 10 bodies out and you can't really do much. But if you are able to recognize as the control player when you have to go for game, and if you get enough little pressure out just by swinging at their security, forcing them to play their bodies that you're slowly going to remove and slowly chip away at them, you have a chance. Purple Kari, which you'll see in my deck list a little later, makes that matchup much better for us, especially if we can get all 4 out, because they'll only do 1 check at a time and then always pass turn, and we can play for the deck out that way, which is how I got game 2 against him. Quartzmon, which you'll see on my list, also played in a role. That is one of the 2 matches for the whole day where I hard slammed it for 16 and got immense value off of somebody not unsuspending. So that was a lot of fun. Matchup 2 was another 2-0. I 2-0'd Bloom Lord, and that matchup's very much in my favor now because I do have 4 Death X, and just because you got to see the card. In that vein, game 1 went standard. He didn't get the nuts combo off. He had to wait a turn or 2 before he comboed, but that gave me enough time to recover to 7, set up Shadow Serafi, take advantage of him not seeing a Hydra, to bot deck my cards. So that game was pretty much a no contest. Game 2 versus Bloom, he went nuts. He comboed me turn 2, got a ton of checks, got a ton of value. But when he did so, he hit a Wyvern's Breath, which set his DP to 1k on his Bloom Lord. And then he went into Quartzmon, which killed it. So that kind of just stunted all his momentum. I was able to Death X his board and then recover enough where his second combo was a little too late. Even though he did combo pretty fast, he was getting back into it. That one Quartz Evo lost him the game. So that was that. My next match was Mirage. Mirage Galgamon. I like the matchup just because it's a single stack deck and my options say no to you. So when I'm saying no to you, there's really not a whole lot you can do, especially if you can't do an efficient bounce to Shadow Serafi, or you bounce Magna to my hand and I just play it again. You don't really get a lot of tools until you can go faster with the trainings. So it was pretty much just race stack died. That's pretty much how both games went. Then I went on stream. I played versus Blackboard Gray X, and he was playing a variant where he just wants to play versus Shine Greymon and kill children. So that's what was his goal. He wanted to kill these little Tamers here and just slowly grind it out. But against me, it pretty much you're required to find Yuya and you're required to find Gaiamon, sorry, where you just swing a whole bunch of checks uninhibited and then get a trash. So usually you'll get 3 checks, sometimes even 4, depending on your build. And then my security options don't work unless they're the recovery ones. And then you just that's normally how you pressure it. But again, that's another matchup where if I'm recognizing I need to be aggressive and I hit Tamers, that's a cheaper Death X. So game 1, essentially, he was raising his stacks and just dying to Chaos Degrade because he had no protection from Yuya because he ended up bot decking it. So that was just standard race stack dies, and me just playing the long game, just grinding him out until he decked out. Game 2, he did get a Yuya towards the mid game, but he didn't have good enough stacks. And then he had so many Tamers on board. He tried to get value with one of his stacks that got de-digivolved due to me just hard slamming or digivolving Shadow Seraphimons. That I just hard slammed a 16 cost Quartzmon, which pretty much just locked the game for me. And then round 5, I played against, I think, the 5th place Hunters, or what would become the 5th place Hunters guy. And that match was very close. He was super aggressive. Even though he had never played the matchup before, he was playing it really well. There were a lot of instances where I would have to de-digivolve him into a Quartzmon or digivolve him into a Arrestor Superior mode, just because I just had to wipe the board. I had to get value with my Death X's and force him to remove those instead of like my Shadow Seraphis or my Magnus, so I could like keep cycling them. But yeah, he was a very good opponent, very chill dude. The 2-0 was him digging through his entire deck to deck out both games, just trying to be super aggressive. He did get super close. Game 1, he should have had me, but he scooped too early because I had run out of resources just like he did. But if he had played a Digimon, I would have had 1 or 2 turns to find a recovery card, and if I didn't, I would have lost. But that's why you never scoop too soon. But yeah, that was a 2-0 versus him. And then finally, I went on stream again versus the first place Belphegor player. He did 2-1 me. It was close, even though I was bricking. So, you know, it's a big avenue for luck in this game, and that's where mine started running out. So in those matchups, game 1, I didn't really see nothing going for me. He got plenty of time to do his Belphegor combos and just chip and just beat me to death. So if you want to see that, that's on stream. If you want to see a security controller get beat to death. Game 2, I bricked again, but this time my security was more favorable. I drew okay. I know in game 2, I showed the judge, I was like, oh, look, I drew an 8-cost option, 8-cost option, 8-cost option, 8-cost option, all in a row. But luckily enough, I was able to grind it out and kill him through deck out. And then game 3 happened. I think I kept that hand, but it became a bad hand. Just not finding Salamons, not finding Death X. I think that game I recovered 2 Death X's instead of drawing them. So I did get a little unlucky, but, well deserved to the first place guy. And then the final match was versus Blue Fair. Game 1, it was a no contest. He just straight up won that match, or won that game. And then game 2, it was a lot more in my favor. I was clearly winning it. He was stalling out finding the good Metal Greymon, but then I went into an amazing Quartzmon play onto a Shadow Seraphi, swung, trashed a Sorai that was in his security, and then I hit a Maelstrom, which bot decked my Quartz, which lost me the game. So, got pretty unlucky there, but it is what it is. I don't know how game 3 would have turned out. He could have just high rolled me like he did game 1, and I could have just died. It's just the nature of set control. Sometimes your Digimon are just in your security, and you don't get no value off of this pile of options here. So now I'll talk about why I chose this deck before I do the deck list, and then I hope you guys will have a wonderful day. So the reason I chose security control was I was between high rolling as Shine, which it has no real bad matchups. It's just, do you get the high roll or not? Until we get the training cards, it's a lot less consistent, and I am not as lucky with it, so I didn't want to play that. Blue Flare was my other choice because sometimes you can just turn 2 4-check people and then you kill them a turn later, which, sometimes you just high roll that and then you have so much search and so much draw and stall with that deck that sometimes you can just steal wins you really shouldn't be able to. But then I was like, security control, I've been playing it for a really, really long time, and I decided to play it because I only have 2 bad matchups, I think, which is Red Hybrid and Royal Knights. I'm fine with every other matchup. I'm happy to see every other matchup, to be honest, because it's a lot more fun. We both get to play the game. I mean, some people will hate security control because they're like, I'm playing the game, raising my stack, doing my thing, and then I die to an option. Well, that's how I try and combat this meta. Like, if it's a stack meta, this is what I like to fall back to. So Blue Flare has 2 bad matchups in Bloomlord and Belphegor. I thought there would be a bunch of Belphegor, so I was like, I don't know if I want to take that chance. And also, when you're playing Blue Flare, if you get the mirror, it's how well do you know the mirror? And then if you get paired against Red Hybrid, it's like, you're just seeing who high rolls each other. So I wanted to fall back and get lucky because I believe that this meta is very luck dependent. I think you need like 60%, 70% luck to win out and get a top 16 right now. Like, you can play out of your mind, but in some instances you just have to get lucky. Either you have to have the one security bomb, or you have to have Tamers in your security. Like, for instance, if you raise a stack and get a piece of chip and wow, it's a 4-drop Marcus, and then you get OTK the next turn. So that was my argument for choosing Setcon. Is I know I need to get lucky. I know I can pilot the deck well, so why not dodge Red Hybrid and dodge Royal Knights? That was my hope. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and get into the deck list. So 5 babies, Viximon, and 4 Upas, 4 little babies. So the reason I play 5 is sometimes your games do go to 5 eggs, and sometimes Viximon, if you get that Sala, you know you're in no need, like you will not recover within 2 to 3 turns off of a Sala. Playing those options, drawing those cards, finding Death X, finding Quartzmon, finding kill options when you need it, finding Tamers like Purple Kari. It really does matter, so I do like this as the one of. Otherwise, swing Salamon, hope it dies, draw a card, recover one. That's essentially what I do for the babies. Then let's go into the Digimon. I do play 4 Salamons. I don't play any Hair Spawns because although Tactical Retreat is very cheeky, I really only need to Tactical Retreat up to 3 so I can double kill with Lonk, or I really need to get a piece of chip versus some decks because I do have to race at times, while getting the recovery is very important. Then just 4 level 5s, just 4 Magnas. I don't want to run any more until I get, another Magna Angemon next set, because a lot of the times the recovery is a lot more important than, for example, playing Maycrackmon and potentially double killing rookies, or killing one thing, or gaining 2 memory when it dies on top of a Shadow Seraphi. And then the other one is Angelwomon, which negs something to security, which really only ever comes up in the Red Hybrid matchup, but that matchup I should be losing anyways, and it's just I can't bank on winning that matchup aside from 4 Purple Karis and barely living on the edge. That's really it. So this is the only level 5 I run. It's the only one I want to see. I'd love to see it turn 1, turn 2, and I'd love to recur it the whole game. That's pretty much it. The 1k DP does matter. Sometimes 13k DP bodies matter when you're swinging. Next, the big bad of my deck, Shadow Seraphimon. I will very gladly slam him for 12. It does not matter, depending on your deck. If you do not have a good answer to him, or you're forced to kill him, well, that's a recover one, and hopefully I kill a body. So it's just an immense tempo swing. De-digivolving stacks matters. Like if you get 2 of this versus blue flare, you just de-digivolve them twice or even once and that's 1 less Metal Greymon you have to deal with, because then they have to Mailbird or Greymon to go fetch it. And I'd rather fetch it because it buys me time, and I'll just constantly be digivolving them or forcing them to go into a higher stack and getting more resources out of them. So it's very good. And then I can always go into Death X or Quartzmon on top of this body, which always feels amazing. Next, I do have the one of Gallantmon. This is the Royal Knight one. Real pretty boy. Sometimes he just tempo swings the heck out of people. Killing 2 bodies with him and getting a sec check while making him a threat. Just an amazing feeling. Just because it's reduced cost, because almost all the time I can guarantee I'll play him for almost free, depending on how late the game goes. So huge tempo swing with him as one of my tech cards. My other big tech card is Quartzmon. So Quartzmon helps you against everything. Literally everything. Forces Red Hybrid to kill it, forces Black War Greymon to de-digivolve it or kill it, or whack into it because they can't restand. Forces Shine to deal with it because all their Tamers will be suspended, so it forces them to raise when they might not want to. It forces out Blue Flare, suspends their Tamers, makes them unable to crosses efficiently. It's just so good versus all the Tamer decks. And also, sometimes I did slam this multiple times during the tournament. Once versus the Black War Greymon player to just guarantee the win, and then once versus the Royal Knight player to just stall a couple times, because when I did deck out the Royal Knight player game 2, I did hard slam this to stop a Gallantmon from hitting me in the face, and it bought me enough time because when I decked him out, I had 4 cards left in deck. So very, very fun card for set control. It just helps way too many matchups to not run it right now. Because I didn't want to play the Omniswart high roll, hope I have a bunch of security Digimon in my security build. Didn't want to do that. I feel that you have to kill stacks with your security in this meta, and if you don't, you lose. So if I'm just getting my security Digimon hit and I'm just jawgressing them and whacking you or going to Zord defeat, I still only kill one Tamer. And almost all the Tamer decks killing one Tamer while we're going to mid and late game almost every game doesn't really do a lot. Whereas he just is like, I will kill you with this card. Then I have 4 Death X's. The reason I have 4 Death X's is because I'm not running Calling, and because you have to see this card. Like, it is a mandatory. 15k DP in your security matters right now, and just playing it for 2, for 5, for 11 sometimes, it really matters. It does so much work for you, and it's a forced answer versus every deck. I have killed 3 Marcuses with this card before, just because they swung, hit a bad option, killed their stack. They couldn't play anything, and then I've killed Marcuses at end of turn. So it's just absolutely nutty what this card does for the deck. Just making sure you live longer, you kill a bunch of bodies, you get that threat that can swing at their security almost uninhibited. I have swung this and it die a lot, but it's just mandatory to see this card. Like, if I see this card versus that Belphemon player when he's doing the correct thing and going wide while using this oppressive Belphemon Rage Mode stack, then the game would be a lot more in my favor. But if you don't see it, well, sucks to be me. All right, next, we'll go into the children. We'll go into our Tamers. So I play 3 purple Mimi. Let's put the shiny one up top because I only own 2 of them right now. Reason she's important is a lot of the time if you get multiple of her out, they're going to have a memory setter setting them to 3. So sometimes setting them to 3 instead of 5 really, really matters. It forces them to boost and do better combos, or it even taxes them. So, and also she's required to play Chaos Dag and Hell Scythe. So that's why she's here for the combo potential. Next, I got 4 Karis. Taxing is really, really important right now. So when they swing and then pass turn, or swing and they can't do any extra combos that they would normally love to do, very, very efficient. Love passing turn with this card. It gives you that extra turn you need to recover, gives you that extra turn to play a Shadow Seraphi, gives you that extra turn to find Death X. So really important to tax your opponent. Then I chose to do 2 TK Karis because a lot of the time in this meta, everybody knows they have to beat you to death, and sometimes they have to know to disrespect your security. Well, if this card's out, I can kill your 1k DP searchers. I can sometimes do a combo where against one player, the Royal Knight player, I swung my Salamon at his security, made his Kentaro Osman 12k, and then swung into it with my 12k Shadow Seraphi because I had to. So there's a lot of little neat tricks you can do, but gaining 2 memory just because you have less security than them, really efficient, especially if you know that you're in a setup where you have to deck the opponent. This just gets you so much value, so that's why I chose to play this at 2. I wouldn't play too many. I wouldn't play 3 or 4 just because I like seeing 1, 2 is icing on the cake when I'm playing for a deck out. But if I ever have it clunking my hand, I'd rather wish it was a Kari, I'd rather wish it was a Mimi, rather wish it was a TK. Then, speaking of TK, I have 2 mem setters. TK outperformed Kari by miles. Looking at my security, grabbing a Salamon, grabbing a Magna Angemon matters way more because I'm running so many options to kill. I'm running such high DP monsters to kill that just putting something else in there matters a lot more. Like, if I look at my security, it's a Salamon, a Magna Angemon, and a Shadow Seraphi. Well, I'm taking the Salamon, surely, and then hopefully getting a recovery because I've seen so many Digimon cards. I'm like, okay, my chance to recover an option or a value Tamer is a lot higher that way. So that's why he's really good. Kari's good for the combos, like Hell Scything and recovering, Holy Waving and recovering, Tack Retreat and comboing, but I would much rather her have been a Digimon Emperor or another TK. There's really not much to say about her. That's really how I felt, because otherwise, a lot of the time, if you're playing a deck out matchup, and you're like, okay, and you get her turn 1 with a Salamon, you feel pretty good just because if your hand is a couple Holy Waves, well, you're doing your game plan. You're recovering and hoping to deck out your opponent. But most of the time, she's just there as a set to 3. Then let's go into the options. So we got 2 attack retreats. I put this in because I realized that since I have to be lucky to top, sometimes hitting this to recover 1 is really important. Playing this to set myself to 3 security and then playing a lonk to double kill things is really important. Against Blue Flare, if I don't want you to get multiple swings because I've dealt with all your red Greymons and now you just have the restand one, well, congratulations. I got rid of whatever body I didn't care about because I just need to stall you. So this is a really good option card. Played it too just so I could either see it in security or use it as a combo. All right, then we'll go into Holy Waves. 4 Holy Waves. Very, very self-explanatory. Play it for 6, stall your opponent by recovering 1, or they hit it in security and you recover 1. Very, very basic option, but very, very important. Then the restricted reinforced memory boost. Even if this was unrestricted, I would only play it at 2, because if it gets hit in security a lot of the time, depending on how aggressive the opponent is, I could just die because this option card did nothing. Because sometimes, even though I have the +3 memory on my turn, if I don't have a decent play with it, it's just going to sit there and do nothing until I can finally do something with it. But a lot of the time, I love playing it for 6, drawing a card, recovering 1. Very, very better version of Holy Wave on play. But, it's a really lovely card. If it was unrestricted, I would play it at 2, because more than that would just hurt me, even though it would feel amazing if I played them back to back to back to back. If they ever get hit multiple times in security, well, I didn't kill your stack and I got to kill it from hand. Which essentially is just, let me pop these boosts, kill it from hand. Well, I would have did that anyways. Congratulations. So, very happy with that card. 4 Flame Hell Scythe. Feels good to kill something and play Magna Angemon. Feels real good to play this, kill nothing, play Magna Angemon just to recover 1. So then it's just a de facto extra Holy Wave. Very, very good card. Just to kill something and recover. Just keep stalling, keep going. Then budget Chaos Degrade. So 4 lonks, if you're at 3 security, you get to -12 and put something at the top of their security. Very, very important card. Sometimes people are immune to DP reduction, so the best thing you can do is just get rid of the body. So very, very good stall card, very good combo card. Then we have something I didn't really care for, which is 3 Wyvern's Breath. So the 3 Wyvern's Breath, they do come up, right? It's an extra kill card. Depends what extra kill card you want to play, because a lot of the meta, if you play versus Alphamon or you play versus Blackbird Greymon, which there were a lot of them, you can't DP reduce it, and that just feels bad. So I think I would probably keep this at 2, because 15k DP reduction, hits almost everything. So it's really good. I would probably cut one of these for maybe an Emperor or something else. Like this one card is very, very flexible, what you do with this one Wyvern's Breath. But aside the other 2, it's either this or Fly Bullet. And sometimes you don't see a purple Tamer, or you don't see a Death X to be able to play your purple options. So that's why I was like, I'll play at least 2. I'm very happy with 2. One of these I would get rid of. And then 4 Chaos Degrades. Everybody knows it. Everybody fears it. Amazing option. Just get rid of something, or even get rid of something, trash your security that we both don't know what's there, but I'm more scared of hitting like a Blue Flare's Blazing Boost. I'm more scared of hitting your Tamers than, my body's dying. I would prefer my Magna Angemon swing at your security and it die than me hit a Tamer for you, because then I just feel bad, right? But you also feel bad when you hit my security. So amazing, amazing option to just trash the unknown, right? Or set up where you go, okay, put that on bottom. I know that's your 13k DP monsters at the bottom of your security. Now I know when to swing my Salamon if I ever play multiple of these and just cycle your security, right? So, I can set up my swings better, because a lot of the meta, I do have to hit you. Like, I don't want to sit there and go for time. I don't think going for time is the correct play, because then that just feels scummy. I would like to swing out and win while, controlling your board. That's enjoyable to me. But I don't want to play for ties. That just puts a bad taste in my mouth. If I do tie, well, it happens. Mostly not to me, because a lot of the time security control, you're playing 1 good card at a time, sometimes 2 good cards at a time. And you just got to evaluate, will this play help me swing out their security because this is a game that I have to kill, I can't play for the deck out, or whether you just stall for the deck out. And that wraps up my deck profile. And then I'll say something about the tournament. PBG did really good. running the event. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it thoroughly. All of my opponents, 5 of them, I believe it was their first regionals. Just like the first place Belfi, I think he was first time regionals. The 5th place Hunters that I played against, it was his first regionals. A ton of people I played, it was their first regionals. Everybody was nice. A lot of people were happy to see that I was playing set control for some reason. North America just loves the deck. It is a lot of fun. I think the only people who don't like playing versus it are the people who don't want to learn how to play versus the deck. Because I don't know about you, but I don't enjoy, oh, hey, I'm playing Blue Flare. Oh, you turn 2'd 4-checked me with, 2 Atomic Infernos, or you turn 2'd just, oh, hey, you played a Searcher, played Geogray, got your 4-drop Tamer. Next turn, oh, I'm dead. Wow, congratulations. So, I don't want to feel like I'm getting high rolled all the time. So I was like, well, let's play something where I force interaction, right? But that's all I got. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And again, big thanks to the tournament organizers. I had a ton of fun. And again, I feel like this meta is very luck dependent, so I'm happy with my deck choice. I would gladly pick it again. I would just, again, hope to dodge Red Hybrid and hope to dodge Royal Knights, which are very popular decks, and I'm glad I dodged the Red Hybrid. But y'all have a wonderful day. Take it easy, guys.